This is a gem cutting town in Sri Lanka. It's got a great view. I'm at a guest house that's in sort of the side of a big hill, and we're doing a gem cutting class here. Back in 2017, I got the opportunity to go to Sri Lanka for the first time. I was acting as a sort of a teacher slash filmographer for the AIGS Gemology School. And I already had an idea about Sri Lankan cutting by the time I was setting up for this trip, so I booked an extra week and convinced Victoria to come along with me. And after that class ended, we were on our own for a week, and in the first couple days we ran into this guy. This is Armil Samoon. He seems to know everybody. He's a friend of ours. And he took us all around Ratnapura. So this is one of the cutting areas, and we can see one of the traditional cutters cutting with the Hanapurua. This is the bow-driven machine, and this is probably one of the oldest faceting machines still in use in the world today. So it was really cool to be able to go and see this and see how the traditional cutters are working right alongside the modern cutters. So we've got this guy on the floor who's doing star sapphires and also polishing stuff for the guy who's up here with his handpiece machine. We also got to go into this basement and see traditional heat treatment of maybe sapphires in this video. I'm not sure what he's blowing on, but this guy can sit here for 40 plus minutes just blowing and blowing and blowing to do a slow heat treatment to slightly improve colors. It's quite amazing. We also got to go see some mines while we were there. These are some of the bigger artisanal mines that you hear about. This is where sapphires and other stones come from, and they're dug by hand with simple machines and motors, and they're pulling wood up and down. I got to go down in one of these, but not on this trip. It's really cool, but it's quite chaotic. There's a lot of noise and commotion around the mining area, but everyone seems to be really friendly. Every time I've gone to Sri Lanka, it's always been really friendly, and it's cool that they let you go down in there, even though it is a little bit dangerous and scary. Another traditional cutter. Here we can see his unique finger motion. He's got the perfect finger technique for cutting the star sapphires. But that brings us back to the guest house. So I had found this on the internet before I went to Sri Lanka. This place is called Ratna Gems Halt, and it's still there. I've recommended a lot of people to go there if they want to learn how to do Sri Lankan cutting, because it's a really nice guest house on the side of the mountain that is on the edge of Ratnapura. You can sleep there. They give you food, and there's a gem cutting class. So it's a full inclusive package. It's really cheap. The food is really good, and if you don't like Sri Lankan food, they've got Western food as well, though I definitely recommend the Sri Lankan food. So we hired this guy who doesn't really speak any English to teach us how to cut in the Sri Lankan style. So this is before I ever had a handpiece machine. This is before I ever met my Sri Lankan mentor. This is literally my first experience with this Sri Lankan technique. And probably this is my first experience after leaving America with any kind of technique that wasn't the American technique. So I was really excited to do this. And Victoria, who obviously had done her training in Switzerland, had never seen this either. So she was really excited to see another technique.
Then you try to get a balance, it's like.
So even though this guy doesn't speak English, he was able to show us everything we needed to see. He taught us how to dop. He taught us how to center the stone on the dop in the handpiece. He taught us how to spin a round girdle without wasting too much weight. And then he showed us how to cut and polish all the facets, all the tiers, and we got to do a flower cut, or a star cut as I now call it. And it starts with the girdle. So he's showing me how to hold the handpiece for this special technique. I haven't seen these videos in a long time. They've just been stuck on a hard drive, so it's really interesting to go back and watch what he's teaching us after I've been teaching students for 6 years in the Sri Lankan technique. I kind of forgot that I learned so much from this guy, because I learned so much later from my other Sri Lankan teachers, but this was really the first experience of seeing how to make your own diamond slurry, how to put it on the lap. You know, this is so different than the American technique that I was taught in, and it was really exciting, and it's still really exciting to go back and look at these videos because I'm still using this technique today. I still use these machines. I don't necessarily use this cut, though. I kind of want to go back and try it again because this is the only time I've ever done this cut, and it looks really cool. As you can see, it's really sparkly. This is a piece of white quartz. Didn't have any problems polishing it somehow. Looking back, I really don't know how we did that because I hate polishing quartz now. But yeah, we had a really good time. Just a couple days at this guest house and then a couple days hanging around with Armel, learning about the history of Sri Lankan cutting. But that's our little adventure from 2017. And this is how I learned how to cut Sri Lankan style stones. So thank you for joining me once again on a Gem Cutter's Craft adventure. If you aren't already subscribed to my Patreon, I ask you to consider it. Not only does it give you access to my twice-a-month podcast interviewing different gem cutters, but it also just helps support all of these videos that I'm putting out every week onto YouTube, keeping everything for free, everything friendly, and keeping me supported a little bit more so that I can keep making cool stuff to entertain you and educate. Thanks to all my patrons. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next time right here on the Gem Cutter's Craft.